There is a UK event called the Speak Out Challenge, and this is the largest youth speaking event in the entire world. Now, recently, a 15-year-old British-Palestinian student by the name of Leanne Mohamad got kicked out of the event because officials deemed that she violated rules. Now, her speech was about equality and specifically equal rights for Palestinians. So let's show you a little bit of that speech that she gave.
What if I told you that for some children across the world, hide and seek is not just a game, but a matter of life or death? Think about it. How would you feel if you were woken every morning by bombs and not birds? If for 68 years they bombarded your land, took away your genuine human rights and killed your families and children, how would you react? Well, this aggression, this oppression, this injustice, it's been going on for over half a century. Since 1948 till this very day, more than 30,000 innocent Palestinian children have been killed. I am Palestinian and I am human. I shouldn't have to remind the world of that. Most importantly, I am proud of who I am. I am also Muslim and Islam is perfect, but I am not. So if I make a mistake, you blame it on me and not on my religion, because terrorism has no religion. And this all comes to equality. Nobody should be discriminated because of their culture, their country, or their race. Palestine is my country, my land and my home. Their pain is my pain and their freedom is my freedom. And I believe that if war can happen in 24 hours, then so can peace. So I leave you with the most inspirational quote of Nelson Mandela. Our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians. So let's together all say, Free Palestine.
Blasphemy.
I mean,
ridiculous.
What in that speech disqualified her? Like, according to the committee's rules, what specifically did she say in her speech that kind of disqualified her from the competition?
So, upon her giving this speech, there was a complaint made by somebody. We don't know who. But the judging panel voted unanimously to kick her out. So in a quote from the Speakers Trust, which trains the students for the competition, they said, "There are two fundamental rules that are made explicit during the training. The speech must have a positive and uplifting message. In fact, this is one of the core terms of the agreement with the Chak-Pechi Foundation. And a speaker should never inflame or offend the audience or insult others. And this, by definition, means that propaganda is ruled out absolutely from the outset."
So wait a second. So she actually has like a handler or a trainer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure
somebody had to see this.
Somebody have seen this speech.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She practiced this speech for someone before the competition or this round in the competition. So apparently the person that was backing her or training her
didn't have a problem
with it. And I'm sure it was somebody who is experienced within this competition, so they would have had to have known there was a problem with it. So my thing is, like, what did it say? It had to be positive and uplifting.
Had to be positive and uplifting. That's one of the core terms.
But that's pretty vague though. So what do they mean by uplifting? Does it have to uplift their values?
Yeah.
Maybe
exactly
since she spoke.
Who does she have to cater to?
Who does she have to cater to? Maybe because she spoke about this issue in a specific way, it kind of contradicted their values. So therefore, it wasn't uplifting.
Well, if you break down, if you pick apart her speech, she spoke about equality. Okay, she spoke about she spoke negatively about terrorism. Okay, she distanced herself with terrorism because terrorism has no religion. That's what she said. And she said everybody has the right to freedom, especially these Palestinian children who are innocent, right? So this whole speech was about equality. That's what the whole speech was about. So how is that not an uplifting message?
What's not uplifting about advocating for equality and treating people with dignity?
She quoted a Nelson Mandela quote that talked about, we're not all free. Everybody's not equal until Palestinian people are equal, and have their rights. this was very uplifting, very positive, because if you believe in equality at all, if you believe in, humanitarian principles, this was a positive message. But obviously, she didn't meet these core tenements.
She didn't degrade any group, did she?
No, she did not. No, she didn't. Yeah, she talked about how Palestinians are being mistreated.
That's all she said, though.
No, she didn't say.
She didn't call any specific person or specific country out, did she?
Well, in the speech, she was talking about how Israel has had advanced weapons and government,
and how they use them against Palestinians.
Yeah, and Palestinian has none of these things. Yeah, and that's one of the ways how Palestinians are being oppressed. But again, that's factual information. That's not propaganda. That's a fact.
No, it is. It's not. Actually, there's nothing wrong with propaganda on the surface.
Right.
Propaganda just means to promote some sort of viewpoint, to
Mm-hmm.
propagate.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is propaganda.
Yeah.
Television commercials,
Mm-hmm.
civil rights activists, even white supremacists.
But
they propagate a lot of things. So it's not on the surface. Propaganda is not just bad,
But in this context, they're saying that it's something that's biased or misleading. But what she said was neither of the sort, unless you're saying that she's biased for equality. Is she biased for equality? If she's biased for equality, then I'm with her. Who wouldn't be with her? Are you saying that you're not for equality? And what she said was not misleading at all. Everything she said was accurate.
But are they screening every single thing these teenagers say to determine whether something is true or not? Are they really screening everything? I mean, because
would you have to screen what she said?
You don't. But it doesn't even matter. But what is the event called? Speak Out Challenge.
Speak out. I would think that they would speak about something that's important to them. And one thing that was important to this female is we didn't show you that part of the speech, but I believe her young cousin, in a Palestinian territory, or in an occupied territory actually, was denied medical assistance and ended up dying. One of her young cousins. And that's very near to her heart, and it impacts her mind, her worldview,
Mm-hmm.
So she spoke out about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I would think we as a people would want our young people to be well informed and to speak their mind, especially when they're advocating for equality. Just this weekend on Meet the Press, Bernie Sanders was talking to Chuck Todd. And they were Chuck Todd asked him about Cornel West, how he framed the Palestinians as an occupied people, and if Bernie Sanders agrees with that assessment, or if that reference, that kind of description
of the situation. Yeah.
And if it was me, I would be like, yes. Next question. I mean, because come on, you can't just ignore reality. Yes, they're occupied. Their territory is occupied. Yes, they're oppressed.
I mean, you don't want to ignore reality. I don't want to, but we know it's a choice. You could be like this if you want to. You could choose to. I mean,